Isaac Newton had a hidden side that would totally blow your mind, and I'm about to spill the tea on it. Start with a surprising fact about Isaac Newton that most people don't know, such as his interest in alchemy or his lesser-known beliefs. What if I told you that one of the greatest minds in history, Isaac Newton, threatened to burn down his mother and stepfather's house in his childhood? Would you believe that the same person who revolutionized mathematics and physics with calculus and the theory of gravity was also deeply obsessed with the philosopher's stone and alchemy? These shocking contrasts in Newton's life raise an intriguing question. Was Newton a genius, or was he closer to a psychopath? In today's video, we'll dive into the hidden and often misunderstood life of Isaac Newton, exploring the darkest corners of his mind, his groundbreaking scientific discoveries, and his obsession with mysticism. So, let's begin with a story that might change the way you see this legendary figure forever. In 1643, on a cold January day, a baby boy named Isaac was born in England. His father had passed away before he was born, leaving his mother to raise him. Just 3 years later, Newton's mother remarried and left Isaac to live with his grandparents. This abandonment left young Newton feeling isolated and resentful, which would later manifest in surprising ways. One of the most shocking discoveries from Newton's early life is found in his personal notebooks, now kept at the University of Cambridge. In them, Newton wrote about his anger towards his mother and stepfather, even going so far as to say he wanted to burn their house down while they were inside. Thankfully, he never acted on this impulse. But it's a chilling reminder that Newton's mind was as complex as his theories. As a young man, Newton's loneliness transformed into a driving force for knowledge. He threw himself into his studies, particularly in the fields of mathematics and physics, and by the age of 22, he had already made significant contributions to both. During the Great Plague of 1665, when Cambridge University closed for 18 months, Newton returned to his family home and began working on ideas that would change the world forever. But before we jump into his groundbreaking discoveries, let's pause and ask, how did a man with such dark thoughts and a troubled past manage to make some of the most profound discoveries in history? The key lies in Newton's ability to channel his inner turmoil into his work. During those 18 months, he developed the foundations of calculus, formulated the laws of motion, and began thinking about gravity in a way that no one else had. Legend has it that an apple falling from a tree sparked Newton's theory of gravity. But the truth is a bit more complicated. Newton had been thinking deeply about motion, force, and the natural world. He envisioned a thought experiment where he imagined firing a cannonball from the top of a mountain. If the cannonball were shot with enough speed, it wouldn't fall to Earth, but would continue circling around it, just like the moon. This realization led him to conclude that the same force that causes objects to fall on Earth also governs the motion of celestial bodies. This was the birth of the universal law of gravitation. But despite these brilliant insights, Newton was not solely focused on science. For over a decade, he was deeply involved in the study of alchemy, a mystical practice aimed at transforming base metals into gold and discovering the philosopher's stone, a substance believed to grant immortality. Newton filled hundreds of pages with alchemical experiments and theories, trying to unlock the secrets of the universe through what we now see as pseudoscience. Why would a genius like Newton, who revolutionized mathematics and physics, be so captivated by alchemy? At the time, alchemy and science were not seen as separate fields. Newton believed that understanding alchemy would help him uncover the fundamental truths of nature, which he thought were hidden in ancient texts. This obsession consumed him for years, as he searched for deeper meaning in both the natural world and the mystical. However, his passion for alchemy didn't last forever. In the late 1670s, Newton's attention shifted back to science, thanks to a request from his friend Edmund Halley. Halley wanted Newton's help in proving that the planet's orbits were elliptical, a question that had puzzled astronomers for centuries. Newton responded with a simple solution that stunned Halley, and this collaboration led Newton to publish his most famous work, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, or simply Principia. In Principia, Newton laid out his laws of motion and universal gravitation, solidifying his reputation as one of the greatest minds in history. His theories explained not only the movement of objects on Earth, but also the motion of planets, moons, and even comets. The Principia is considered one of the most important scientific books ever written, and it cemented Newton's legacy as the father of modern physics. So, how should we remember Isaac Newton? Was he a troubled soul who dabbled in dark, mystical practices? Or was he a brilliant scientist who transformed our understanding of the universe? The truth is, Newton was both. His fascination with alchemy and his moments of emotional turmoil are part of the complex character that made him who he was. His ability to wrestle with both the physical and the mystical aspects of the world allowed him to make discoveries that have shaped the course of history. Without his relentless curiosity, both in science and in mysticism, we might not have the laws of motion or the theory of gravity as we know them today. With that said, thanks for watching. And until next time, keep exploring the mysteries of the universe.